Hi, I'm Doug, and I'm calling this a midweek moment. It's not a devotion, but a chance to explain or elaborate on a devotion. Maybe to answer a question, like the one I received this week. A viewer left a comment asking, in effect, Doug, can you really read that stuff? That stuff? Well, yes. Yes, I can. Not fluently, but I can read it. And the big secret is, it ain't that hard. Now, as a lifelong magician, it pains me deeply to reveal my secrets. But I'm going to do that today, just for you. Yes, reading this is hard. That's because it's a handwritten manuscript, written decades before Gutenberg and his press. The style of writing at that time was cramped and dense, dark and close together. Sometimes the letters kind of run together and it gets hard to decipher. Add to that the fact that Middle English had several obsolete letters that no longer appear in our alphabet. The thorn, for example. The example on the left is what you'd see in a manuscript. It looks like a thorn, in fact. The one on the right would appear in a printed book. The thorn makes the TH sound, as in thorn. This is a yog, and it looks a little like an elongated 3. It sounds like a G, a guttural GH, or a Y. Even our familiar letters can take on unfamiliar shapes. This is a long S. It often looks like an F or a funny C. The W and the R in this world are so stylized that they're often hard to read. There are also several abbreviations, like this line above a letter, which stands for an N and sometimes an M. An apostrophe above a letter indicates an R. What's more, one letter may represent more than one sound. A U may represent either a U or a V. All of this makes reading the manuscript pretty hard to read. But if you practice, it can be done. For example, here's a verse you may have heard of. For God loved, there's the U that sounds like a V, loved so, there's the long S, the world that he gave, there's that yog that sounds like a G, his one begotten, there's the line that represents the N, Son, that each man that believeth in him perish, a difficult word to read because the letters run together and appear on two lines, not, but have everlasting life. You see, it's not the words that are hard, but the writing. It's even easier if you get a printed copy of the Bible. It may still contain the obsolete letters and symbols, but the text is typeset, which makes it a lot easier to read. For God loved so the world, that he gave his one begotten Son, that each man that believeth in him perish not, but have everlasting life. Much easier. And it can be easier still. I downloaded the Wycliffe Bible to use in my Olive Tree Bible Study app. It's the same text, but the archaic characters and symbols have been updated with the standard letters of the modern alphabet. Thorn is replaced with TH, yog with a Y, etc. So when I read Wycliffe on my phone or my tablet, this is what I see. For God loved so the world, that he gave his one begotten Son, that each man that believeth in him perish not, but have everlasting life. Piece of cake. Of course, John 3:16 is a fairly easy verse to read. There are a lot of other passages that contain archaic words and phrases that don't mean anything to us. We just have to look those up and learn them. There are also tricky rules of grammar and syntax. But if you think of this text as something written by a third grader who's flunking spelling, you can read large portions and get the general idea without too much problem. So now you know my secret. Reading Middle English, it's not that hard. And as any magician will tell you, Once you reveal the secret, the magic vanishes, and you're no longer the object of awe and wonder. But I can handle that.